saan ka man dalhin ang kapalaran, iisang bayan lang sa puso mo'y laman, pinagmulan at babalikan. Konting tiis na lang at hanggang sa araw na yan ay asal. Kami nandito lang, sabay na pakinggan ang mga kwento nyo. Isigaw natin sa mundo, bagong bayani namin kayo. Sipag at tapang nyo, hinialay sa mundo, sinasaludo namin kayo. Filipino, itaas ang noo, ipagmalaki mo ang galing nyo, isigaw sa mundo. Juan, saan ka man dalhin ang kapalaran, iisang bayan lang sa puso mo'y laman, pinagmulan at babalikan. Konting tiis na lang at hanggang sa araw na yan ay asal. Kami nandito lang, sabay na pakinggan ang mga kwento nyo. Isigaw natin sa mundo, bagong bayani namin kayo. Sipag at tapang nyo, hinialay sa mundo, sinasaludo namin kayo. Filipino, itaas ang noo, ipagmalaki mo ang galing nyo, isigaw sa mundo. Juan, saan ka man dalhin ang kapalaran, iisang bayan lang sa puso mo'y laman, pinagmulan at babalikan. Konting tiis na lang at hanggang sa araw na yan ay asal. Kami nandito lang, sabay na pakinggan ang mga kwento nyo. Isigaw natin sa mundo, bagong bayani namin kayo. Sipag at tapang nyo, hinialay sa mundo, sinasaludo namin kayo. Filipino, itaas ang noo, ipagmalaki mo ang galing nyo, isigaw sa mundo.
Magandang hapon, Europa. Kung saan man po kayo naroroon, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ito po ang aming public service live streaming JUANEUKONEK. Kwentong Pinoy, kwentong migrante, kwentong JUANEUKONEK. Ako po si Rose Eclarinal. Jean?
At ako po si Jean Alcantara.
Jean, kumusta ka dyan? Happy Freedom Day weekend. This is the first weekend after the end of lockdown. Kumusta ka naman?
Actually, alam mo na matapos yung lockdown, hindi naman nayanig ang mundo. Pero to celebrate it, my other half and I, we went to the cinema for the first time in a year and a half. At nanood kami nung Black Widow. Alam mo yun,
Wow.
yung backstory ng Russian female spy sa The Avengers. Sabi ko nga siguro, kung walang lockdown, baka kino-cover mo na naman yan.
Malamang.
Oo.
Anyway, pag-uusapan natin dahil Freedom Day weekend, ano pa ba yung mga naiwang restrictions? At saka, syempre exciting dahil may dalawang live point tayo ngayon. Una, Live from Southend-on-Sea, makakasama po natin ang ating lifestyle presenter and reporter, Kiara Gregorio, na nagbabalik sa JUANEUKONEK. And exciting din dahil makakasama naman po natin mula sa Suffolk ang ating mga kababayang nurses doon na first sporting event after ng lockdown. Ito po ay nagaganap kasalukuyan. At makakasama natin doon si Miss Louie Horn. At syempre kasama rin niya sina May Alcala and Ivan Aison. So, Chad, pakita mo naman kung ano yung nagaganap dyan sa Suffolk. Hi, yan. Kumakaway po si Louie, ang isa sa ating live point ngayong araw. At saka yung basketball that's happening now. Pakita mo rin, Chad. There you go. Yan po ang kasalukuyang sinusubaybayan natin. Ang first sporting event ng mga kababayan nating nurses na pagkatapos ng lockdown, ayan, yan po ang una nilang activity. And we will also be having with us Dr. and Professor Adrian Rabe. Jean?
Okay, and then magkakaroon din tayo ng interview sa dalawang contestants ng Mrs. Philippines Eurasia 21. Si Daisy Esguerra at si Jolina Loftus. So para matuwa naman kayo, mga beauty queens ang bisita natin ngayon.
Oo, dahil nagbabalik si Kiara sa JUANEUKONEK to give us mga live happenings. Mayroon tayong mga beauty queen dahil yung ating lifestyle presenter na si Kiara Gregorio is a beauty queen. So, Jean, tawagin na natin. Kiara Gregorio live from Southend-on-Sea. Hi, Kiara. Welcome back. Kumusta ang panahon dyan? And what's the situation along the beach? Hi, Kiara.
Hello, Ayan.
Go ahead.
Hello, thank you for having me back, po. It's good to be back. I am here on Southend-on-Sea, and right now the weather is okay. We've definitely seen so much better weather throughout the past week. Yun nga, madaming turista ang nagsipuntahan dito sa Southend, as we'll probably see in the video, para, in search for some sun, sand, and sea.
Okay. Pakita mo naman, mag-pan tayo ng konti, Kiara. What's happening there? At saka, kumusta yung weather dyan? Talagang maganda yung panahon?
It's alright po. We've seen better weather. Pero today we have yellow warning for thunderstorm, believe it or not. Pero it seems quite pleasant. It's not too bad here. So, marami pa rin nag-enjoy here along the seafront. And of course, we have Adventure Island, which is an amusement park. So, yun.
Okay. Jean, may tanong ka kay Kiara?
Yes, so Kiara, obviously tapos na yung mga restrictions supposedly sa lockdown, ano? So, anong situation diyan? Yung ba mga tao talagang kumpun-kumpun sa beach, hindi natatakot? May nagsusuot pa rin ba ng mask?
Medyo marami pa rin pong nagsusuot ng mask, but I have definitely seen a lot of people completely disregarding, the wearing a face mask as well as the social distancing. Siguro nga because of this so-called Freedom Day na nangyari, which I feel personally gives a false notion as to what we can and we can't do, because obviously the virus is still with us.
That's true.
Okay.
Okay, Rose?
Yes, pero yung audio ni Kiara medyo it's faltering, no? But you can hear me now, Kiara?
Yes, but I can hear you.
Okay. Kasi Kiara, according to scientists tracking the pandemic, yung COVID-19, cases are rising exponentially across England, and it's driven mostly by those unvaccinated younger groups. Kaya, katulad nung tinanong ni Jean, when you're going out, mga nightlife, do you still see them wearing face mask?
I wouldn't be able to tell you about nightlife, pero definitely po, when on a normal day-to-day basis, as I mentioned, I've seen a lot of people, especially around my age, disregarding completely the wearing of face masks. I think a lot of people are getting too comfortable, perhaps. Pero yun nga, I've also spoken to a lot of a few people my age, and a lot of them are quite apprehensive about getting vaccine. So that's something to really consider and think about.
Yes.
Actually, medyo parang confused kasi ang mga tao dito sa UK. Dahil sabi ng government, okay, pwedeng hindi na kayo magsuot ng mask. Pero dito sa London, yung mayor, sabi niya, no, you have to wear masks on public transport. So, hindi ba nakaka-confuse sa'yo yan?
I think siguro most of the time for me, parang it's down to the like personal preference na lang. But personally, I still wear masks because my parents are frontliners and they've had COVID before. I've seen how detrimental it was, the effects of having COVID in the household. So it wouldn't really hurt to take that extra precautions despite this so-called freedom that we're supposed to have. Because the virus is still with us.
Yeah.
Kiara, tell us naman, because I know that you have been dying to go out, meet your friends, but we're all restricted. So, ano yung mga ginawa mo on this first week of the Freedom Day, end of lockdown?
Yun nga po, so on the first week of Freedom Day, of course, it's been so nice to see a couple of friends after a while. But for me, I still try to choose what and where to go, even though we're free to do practically whatever we want. So for us naman po, especially in the family, we choose activities or outings na outdoor in the open air para at least we can somehow minimize the risk of, catching the virus while still enjoying ourselves and having that little bit of freedom after a while in lockdown.
Great to hear. Well, maybe you can tell us also where are you gonna take us next? Because on our live streaming, we will have you more regularly now, if not in all our live streaming. So, saan mo kami ipapasyal?
Well, we have yet to find out because at the moment, I've been trying to find places of where we could go. But it's proving to be a lot more difficult than I thought because everywhere else is booked. But I'm hoping to take you to some of the places that I've researched recently. So better watch out for that.
Great. Well, Kiara, thank you for coming back after your studies. It's refreshing to have you on UNLOCKDOWN. We'll see you on our next live streaming. Maraming salamat sa iyo. Enjoy the weekend. Mag-iingat ka.
Maraming salamat po. And thank you for having me back again. It feels so good. Maraming salamat po.
Fantastic. Okay, yan po si Kiara Gregorio live sa South End on Sea. Tama ba, Jean? Ikaw yung mas matagal dito sa sa England. Anyway, magbabalik po ang UNLOCKDOWN.
South End on Sea. Okay.
Okay, nagbabalik po.
This segment is brought to you by World Remit.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Nagbabalik po ang UNLOCKDOWN. G, nabanggit mo kanina na medyo confusing kung ano ba talaga ang sinasabi ng gobyerno tungkol sa pagsusuot ng mask. Panoorin muna po natin ito. Ito ang pag-iikot natin sa London on the first day of Freedom Day. Chad?
First day of the end of lockdown, so we shall see what's happening here in London. the law on the wearing of face mask is dropped from today, people are expected to wear face masks, especially in public transport and crowded places.
End of lockdown today. How do you feel?
Little bit happy, but not so happy
Bakit
because I know there is still that the variant is still around.
Well, actually, lockdown has not affected me much. In fact, it has given me benefits because being in a retirement house, almost all the charities are on hand to help us.
So Jean, nandyan, nakalagay at I shared with you kung ano yung mga natanggal na restrictions. Mamaya, babalikan po natin kung ano yung naiiwan. Ano? Ngayon, at makakasama po natin ang isang bigating guest natin. Siya po ay si Dr. Adrian Rabe. He's a Filipino doctor who graduated from the University of the Philippines College of Medicine, then trained and practiced at the Philippine General Hospital. He holds degrees in health policy, planning and financing, as well as health professions education. Jean?
Yes, he is now the Global Director of Epidemiology at AstraZeneca, working on COVID-19 and other diseases. And importantly, he is now a professor of primary care and public health, visiting at Imperial College London.
Hi, Dr. Rabe. Welcome to the show.
Hello, magandang umaga, magandang hapon, magandang gabi sa ating mga kababayan. Thanks for having me.
Maraming salamat for this time, Doc. Alam kong busy yung schedule mo and pinagbigyan mo kami, matagal na namin na gustong makasama ka dito sa programang ito. Of course, we want to inform our kababayans in the UK, in Europe, and beyond. Can you please tell us briefly about your journey to become the Global Director of Epidemiology at AstraZeneca? So, kasi para sa atin, bigatin itong role na ito. Paano ka napunta dyan?
Very good question. So, syempre po yung ating epidemiology training, nagsimula po yan sa University of the Philippines in Manila. In 2015, dumating po ako sa London para kumuha po ng master's. At simula po niyan, I started consulting po at Imperial College London and other life sciences companies. And then po noong March 2020, dun po ako nagsimula sa AstraZeneca, working specifically po on COVID-19. Noong nagsisimula pa lang ang pandemya sa England.
Oh, wow.
So talagang Adrian, parang talagang ikaw ang isa sa mga eksperto sa COVID-19 dahil nga sa involvement mo right from the start. Pero just for the information of our audience, si Adrian, na-meet natin siya I think noong 2015 o early 2016 na mag-join siya sa isa nating program, Rose, yung JUANEUKONEK halalan ano bang tawag doon?
Jean, you're forgetting. Yes, Jean, you're forgetting. It's the same program, but we tackled something different lang. It was an end of season show because magkakaroon ng national elections in the
That's
Philippines.
right, yeah.
And then that was like 5 years ago or 4 years ago, Adrian. And in that period, ang grabe yung narating mo, nakakabilib. Congratulations, nakaka-proud din.
Salamat po.
So, ang tanong ko naman, share with us your difficult or yung journey, not the journey, but maybe the work that you and your team have embarked on during the pandemic.
Marami pong kwento about that. Pero long story short, since March, kailangan po nating i-model o i-predict yung yung infections po all around the world in each country. So noong from March to around June, July last year, almost 24 hours po kasi sinusuporta natin ang mga health departments or secretaries of health all across the world, all across time zones. So halos wala pong tulog during those months. We were around the clock on call trying to process ito pong global pandemic. At syempre po yung pinaka-challenge nun ay ito po ay isang bagong sakit, bagong disease. And noong March, April, May last year, that's when we were only beginning to understand kung ano po talaga yung nangyayari around the world. So, but ever since June, medyo mas naging malinaw at simula po noon, we also have started developing the vaccine across not just in AstraZeneca but across different companies. So hopefully, and that's what we have seen around the world. Yun po yung naging susi sa pag-end ng mga lockdown around the world. Pero syempre yung pinaka-question doon, kailan ba talaga pwedeng mag-lockdown? Ano po talaga yung sinasabi ng science tungkol po sa opening up of the world?
Yes. Jean, go ahead. Your question?
Yes, actually very interesting ang ginagawa mo, no, kasi talagang applicability is global. Pero sa palagay mo ba, nakita mo ba na ginagamit talaga ng mundo ang mga ginawa ninyo? And obviously, I'm very conscious na Pinoy ka, no? You're an expert. Mukhang sa Pilipinas, kailangan din yata ng expertise mo. So how does that make you feel?
Very good question po. So I'm proud to say na sa Pilipinas, marami pong naging expert and they're also helping out the World Health Organization, not just sa Pilipinas, pero sa ibang rehiyon all across the world. That being said, iba po kasi yung sinasabi ng scientist at ang sinasabi po ng mga doktor versus po yung epekto ng pandemya on all other sectors. Gaya po na nakita natin in the past year, any lockdown will not just affect your health, it will also affect the economy, it will affect yung edukasyon natin, yung pagtuturo, it will affect small businesses, even social relationships. Kaya po ang mahirap pong, ang pinakamahirap na gawin ng mga policymaker ay ano po dapat yung i-prioritize. Itutuloy pa ba yung lockdown habang yung mga business ay nakasara? At yung mga estudyante natin hindi po nakakamit ang kanilang edukasyon ng face-to-face. Or ililift ba natin yung lockdown and at the same time may masasacrifice, may mga infections pa rin. Yun po yung nakita natin dito sa England, no? Ayon po sa ating Chief Medical Officer si Professor Chris Whitty, sabi po niya medyo maaga yung naging pagbukas ng London and ng England and to lift all of the restrictions. So, yung nakikita po natin, almost 50,000 to 60,000 cases per day yung nangyayari sa England. The other good thing though is that meron po tayong vaccine. In England at least, around 39 million have already received 2 doses of the vaccine. That means po, kaya noong tumataas po yung infection, wala din tayong nakitang sobrang pagtaas ng mga mortality or death or pag-hospital or pag-admit sa hospital ng mga pasyenteng may COVID-19. So that's the good thing. Now, maganda po yung sinabi niyo po, Sir Jean, about the Philippines. Nakita po natin na syempre, meron tayong in meme speak, FOMO, feeling of missing out. Nakikita po natin sa New Zealand, in the US, in the UK, nag-open up. So syempre, yung mga kababayan natin sa Pilipinas, tinatanong nila yung ating mga policymaker doon, pwede na ba tayong mag-open up din? Ang problem po natin is in the Philippines, only 5% of the 110 million people have received 2 vaccines. So kung mag-open up po tayo sa Pilipinas, medyo kulang po yung immunity ng ating populasyon. So mahirap sabihan ang ating mga I'm sure they have our best interests at heart, our government in the Philippines. Pero mahirap din makita yung pag-open up habang konting-konti lang po ng populasyon ang naka-receive po ng 2 bakuna.
Yes. Okay.
Rose?
So, ang tanong ko naman dyan, because you mentioned na meron naman talaga ding apprehension in the UK or in England in particular for lifting the lockdown. And ikaw bilang scientist and also a researcher, meron ka bang worry na nag-lift na ng lockdown on Monday?
I agree po with the assessment of Professor Chris Whitty na it's too early. It was too early to open up. Ito po yung rason. So, sinasabi po ng iba, okay, marami na pong nabakunahan, 39 million out of the 55 million. So, medyo more than 50% na. Ang issue po natin ay yung bagong variant, yung Delta variant, ay mas mabilis po siyang matransmit. Kung titingnan po natin yung mga protection natin, let's say 80% of all those na nabakunahan ay hindi na po mamamatay at hindi na po ma-admit para sa COVID-19. We still have 20% out of the 100% who will still die, who will still get admitted for COVID-19. Anong ibig sabihin nun? So if you have 10 million, let's say, of people na nabakunahan, 20% of 10 million is 200,000 people who will still potentially die, still potentially get admitted. Kaya meron din po tayong tinatawag na human cost of opening up. So for me, I'd be more comfortable kapag nag-open up po tayo when you already have around 75 or 80% vaccination rate.
Okay.
Actually, and final question from me, Adrian, kasi I'm always proud to see someone like you, talagang making waves. Obviously you recognize. Tapos ngayon, naging professor ka pa sa isa sa top institution sa UK. So how do you personally feel about, what you have achieved here? Ito ba yung naisip mo nung pumasok ka dito?
Yun po yung so yung pinaka pangarap ko po noong dumating po ako ng London is to really help out na ang ating talino at expertise bilang Pilipino ay makikita sa buong mundo at gagamitin para tumulong globally. So where I am at the moment, I'm actually happy to be helping out in this global role, both at AstraZeneca and at Imperial College, and even through programs like this, UNLOCKDOWN, kung saan makikita ng mga kababayan natin na nandito po tayo sa iba't ibang sektor, iba't ibang panig sa mundo, na tumutulong at nagpapakitang gilas bilang mga Pilipino. So I'm proud of being here at syempre po I wouldn't have been here without the support of all our fellow brothers and sisters back home and our family back home as well.
Fantastic. Jean, i-share ko lang ng konti. This is what I remember sa naibahagi rin sa akin ni Dr. Adrian Rabe. Alam mo ba na OFW child siya? Lumaki siya sa pamilya na ang parents niya ay nagtatrabaho sa ibang bansa. Kaya mas meaningful para sa atin to have Dr. Rabe on the show because our show is for Filipino migrants. So, Dr. Rabe, mabuhay ka. We're proud of you. Proud ako na taga-UP ka. Proud ako na Pilipino ka. And ang panghuling tanong para mas may kabuluhan, bakit hindi dapat matakot ang mga Pinoy o ang mga nanonood sa atin ngayon na magpabakuna?
Again, very good question. Ang pinaka benefit po ng pagbabakuna ay protection not only for you, but protection para din po sa inyong pamilya, para sa inyong mahal sa buhay. Wherever you go, kung dala nyo po yung virus ng COVID-19, risk po yan na maibibigay nyo po yan sa iba't ibang miyembro ng pamilya nyo. So, you should not be afraid of the vaccine. The side effects are less than 1 in a million. Mas marami pong side effect ang kahit ordinaryong paracetamol sa kumpara po sa vaccine. So for me, to protect yourself, your family, your loved ones, everyone in your social circle, please get the vaccine.
On that note, marami pong salamat, Dr. Adrian Rabe. Mabuhay po kayo and hopefully makakasama uli namin kayo sa UNLOCKDOWN in the future. Salamat po.
Salamat. Take care.
Okay. Jean, ngayon naman, eto na pinakahihintay natin. Mula sa London, dumako naman po tayo sa Suffolk kasi ito ang first sporting event ng mga Filipino nurses na kababayan natin doon. Nagsimula po ito kahapon pa, kaya let's welcome our guest from Suffolk. Hello! Nandun po, makakasama po natin si Miss Louis Horn. Ayan si Louis. Hi, Louis!
Hi, Louie.
Hi, Rose. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jean.
Alam mo, Louis, kasi nag-echo ako pag nagsasalita. Pwede ba ikaw na ang magpakilala sa mga dalawa pang kasama nating nurses dyan? Ang magigiting masisipag at nakaka-proud na Filipino nurses na kasama mo para hindi ko na marinig yung echo ko.
Sure, thank you very much. So I've got Ivan, who's an ICU nurse, and he's also a player. Alam mo naman, naka-basketball siya. And then we've got May, who's a rheumatology nurse specialist. So kaming tatlo, kami ang organizers ng event and we're committee.
Okay, is there a chance na mapalakas pa po natin yung boses po ninyo? While we're trying to fix that, yung mga nanonood po sa atin na live ngayon, can you please share this? Pa-share po naman sa mga kababayan natin na nanonood ngayon sa ating mga nagko-comment. Please share that on your page para po makita nila yung mga achievements ng ating mga kababayan na guest. So there, I even hear my own echo habang inaayos po ni Chad. And Chad, while we are fixing the audio of Suffolk, dahil malayo-layo din ito sa London, please ipakita naman po natin yung live event na nangyayari dyan. Yung basketball event in Suffolk na pinangungunahan po ng ating mga kababayang nurses. Can we have a shot of that? Ayan, Chad? Oh, are we connected? Can we see that? Can we see that po? Kung hindi naman, Louie, pakipaliwanag mo naman sa amin, ano po itong event na nangyayari ngayon dyan sa Suffolk?
Yes, so Rose, naririnig mo ba ako malinaw?
Malinaw ka, pero medyo mahina po yung boses ninyo.
Okay, so lapit ako ng konti, no?
Great,
so,
yes.
Naka-live kami, and as far as I know, makikita nyo ngayon. So, pwede nyo i-click, kasi nag-live kami kanina umaga pa. So what's happening, Rose, is this is the second day of our sporting event. So, ang joining to ng Suffolk, ng buong Suffolk community, ng international nurses. So that's Colchester, and that's Ipswich as well, and the community hospitals. So yesterday, there's about nearly 300 people, and today is siguro mga 200 ang nandun. We try to make it as safe as possible, so we're socially distanced. Katatanggal lang namin ng mask para maganda sa interview. Pero everyone's wearing masks inside. And muntik nang hindi matuloy to, no, Rose? Kasi we need to be very careful because this is the first weekend of the lockdown. So we're very strict. May waivers kami for the day. So meron kaming LFD, last lateral flow device. Lahat kami nurses, so we're doing it. And then, may ano kami din, may temperature kami every time you enter the event. So, I can send you ng mga clips later kasi meron din kaming director na nurse din.
Director as in directing the show? The live?
Director as in nurse. Alam mo naman ang mga nurses, magagaling, pwedeng maging doktor, may director kami. Kanina yung kausap nyo, si Juan.
Oh, ito ba yung live na nangyayari or is this just a photo?
This is live, Rose. So, photo yan ngayon, pero may naka-live kami na nakakabet as far as we know. Eh, ano lang daw, i-accept lang daw ng producer nyo.
Okay, sige. Chad, can we do that? But in the meantime, habang inaayos po at kinokonect ni Chad yung live na basketball event, ang tanong po natin is, end of lockdown, bakit sporting event ang naisip po ninyo na first event na inorganize for the Filipino nurses?
Rose, kasi it is for the mental health of the nurses because we work really hard on this event. I'm from cohort 10. Ngayon, it is cohort 38 na. So, para mag-gather yung bawat nurses natin and para makilala natin ang isa't isa. Kasi in Suffolk, we are a big community. So, para makilala din and keep in touch because ngayon, hindi ko na din masyadong kilala yung mga nurses natin because madaming dumating during the pandemic.
Oh, I see. Okay. Jean?
Okay, actually ang galing naman ng ginagawa nyo, Louie, Ivan and May, no? Kasi actually yung I mean your nurses, no, yung frontliners. Tapos ang ginagawa nyo ngayon, isa sa favorite sports ng mga Pinoy. So just to get everyone together must be like it's like a reunion of sorts, no? Plus sabi mo nga inintroduce niyo yung mga bagong nurses. So anong reaction ng mga kababayan natin diyan na binuo ninyo itong sports event na ito sa Freedom Day, if you like.
Yeah. Tiniming din namin na Freedom Day siya. It was very difficult. It was challenging to organize kasi inaantay namin yung announcement ng Prime Minister. But then we were focused on organizing this. It was very challenging kasi almost 18 months hindi kami nagkita-kita. Mahirap mag-support each other pag hindi ka physically present. Like, we've got friends and families who lost loved ones due to COVID. So to organize this is obviously, we needed everybody's cooperation. So, dyan tayo magaling as Filipinos. It's easy for us to unite. It's easy for us to actually gel together, lalo na for activities like this. So it's very, very important for all of us kasi kagaya sinabi ni Ivan, not to see each other, not to support each other for 18 months was really challenging. So ito, nandito yung spirit ng camaraderie ng Filipinos.
I see. Okay. Medyo mahina pa rin yung audio natin, Louie, pero we'll try to get some more information from you. Ilan po ba yung mga grupo dyan ng mga basketball teams na naglalaban-laban? And then, kailangan ba nurses lang ang pwedeng mag-compete or pati yung families?
Lahat ng family. So, meron kaming basketball for kids. So, lahat ng mga asawa ng mga nurses. So, there's about six groups ng basketball, and then elimination now, kaya nagkakagulo sa likod, and then championship this afternoon. So talagang yung buong Suffolk community, sinali talaga namin, not just the nurses. Meron din kaming volleyball, meron din kaming badminton and table tennis. So talagang kinater namin lahat ng mga gusto ng mga Filipino para maramdaman nila na masaya after 18 months of, nakita namin lahat ng paghihirap, nakita namin how many deaths, ang maraming nurses na Filipinos na namatay, as you know. And, we did a 1-minute silence as well kahapon when we started para hindi natin makalimutan ang at mag-ingat tayo. Kasi kaming mga nurses, kahit ngayon, talagang very strict kami sa safety ng COVID. So, we do masks, social distancing, bawal talagang magyakapan kahit pa bubbles. Kasi sabi ko, no, kasi hindi namin alam kung sinong bubble nyo. So, we need to really abide by all the safety regulations to make it safe for everyone.
Ang galing naman. Louie, sana sa isa sa mga event nyo makapunta kami dyan. But also, I'm interested to find out, ilan po ba ang Filipinos dyan sa Suffolk?
Colchester and Ipswich is total almost 500 nurses.
Okay, 500 nurses.
500 nurses.
So that will double. Kasi lahat ng mga family nila nandito na rin.
I see. Okay. Jean?
At saka ano ba yung napansin ko lang nakalagay yung sa t-shirt nyo, ESNEFT. Ano po bang ibig sabihin yan? Para alam ng ating
that's their hospital. But, I will let Louie explain it. I think it's East Sussex, right?
East Suffolk and North
East
Essex Foundation Trust. So ito yung sa Suffolk and then the North Essex, which is Colchester. Malapit na sila sa London. So we join trusts, dalawang malaking hospital, and then ang haba ng pangalan, so SNF. So lahat kami, 80% of the nurses here now is from SNF.
Oh. Wow. So parang in-sponsor na rin kayo ng SNF?
Because it's the first weekend of lockdown, medyo very cautious sila. So they gave us their blessings, but we're tagging this as a community event, although we've got their blessing. And then I've got all the documentation and data to prove that we went through the safety as a community event, all the safety regulations of the hall as well that we hire. So meron kaming contract how we will be when we let someone in. Lahat ng safety, talagang nakasulat lahat. It's all documented kasi mahirap na, di ba?
Great. Okay.
Very professional.
Okay, despite the audio problem, Louis, thank you so much for joining us. Maraming salamat po sa inyo for being with us this afternoon and sharing that event, end of lockdown, first weekend, naging matagumpay, nagsimula po kayo kahapon pa. Pero sana you can share it on our streaming, yun pong saan mapapanood yung basketball, and share our interview as well later para mapanood ninyo after the show. Mabuhay po kayo. Sana sa mga susunod na live streaming natin, mas maganda yung audio, mas marami tayong mapagkukwentuhan. For now, I think magtitiis muna tayo ng konti, and hopefully we have some photos and videos that we can flash later. Salamat po!
Salamat. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Enjoy.
Kim. Bye, Rose.
Bye! Okay, magbabalik po ang JUANEUKONEK. Nagbabalik po ang JUANEUKONEK. Jean, mahirap yung audio ng mga taga Suffolk, pero you know, salamat naman at naghintay pa rin sila, and we appreciate the effort of sharing the, you know, yung community event. Kasi nakaka-inspire din na sa kabila nitong lockdown restrictions, ayan, bumabangon talaga yung Filipino community. Alam naman natin na isa talaga yung mga Filipino nurses sa mga naapektuhan ng COVID-19. Maraming namatay sa kanilang hanay. Di ba?
Alam mo, dati Barrio Fiesta ang specialty ng Norwich Filipino community. Pero I'm glad na meron silang, basta may tinuloy sila. Dahil kailangan nila yan.
Okay. So, alam mo, Jean, ito magandang topic pa rin dahil ang mga Pinoy, alam mo naman, mahilig sa mga beauty pageants. So, bakit naman hindi? Marami na tayong mga Miss Universe, Miss World, Miss International na naiproduce. So, ngayong hapon po, makakasama natin ang dalawa sa mga contestant o mga beauties na magko-compete sa Mrs. Philippines Eurasia 2021. At isa rin po ito sa live events o isa rin sa face-to-face event pagkatapos, nakauna-unahan pagkatapos ng lifting of the lockdown o yung tinatawag natin na Freedom Day. So makakasama po natin ngayong hapon Miss Daisy Esguerra, representative of Cavite or representing Cavite, and Mrs. Jerlina Loftus, she is representing Taguig. Hi, magandang hapon sa inyo.
Sa mga beauty queens.
Kumusta?
Magandang
joining us. Ayan. Talaga naman kahit wala pang contest, talagang beauty na kayong dalawa.
Yes po.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
For
Magandang
trying.
hapon po. Good afternoon po sa lahat. Good afternoon UK. Good evening Philippines. And hello universe. Thank you very much for having us, me and Julina, in behalf of Mrs. Philippine Eurasia UK 2021. Marami pong salamat sa pag-imbita niyo po sa amin dito sa JUANEUKONEK.
Great. Julina?
Hello. Hi. Thank you so much for having us here in your famous and fabulous program. Mind you, I've been looking forward for this for a long time, and now my dream had been granted. Thank you so much.
Wow, nakakatuwa. Nakakatuwa naman, Julina and Daisy. Daisy, my question is, please tell us more about the pageant. Ang understanding ko, it should have been done last year pa, pero hindi natuloy. Tell us about it.
I'm a latecomer candidate, Rose and Sergin. What happened is it's supposed to be July, but because of the pandemic and the lockdown, so our chairman have to follow what exactly the policy of the government. That's why it was extended. It was extended until they decided July 31, 2021. But in spite of this pandemic, Rose and Sergin, um, all of the candidates have a chance to share and empower everyone about all their knowledge and their charities and advocacy and legacy. So basically, like for example, in my own category, while we're waiting for this pageant, all of us we were continuing our advocacies. As you can see, Miss Rose and Sir Jane, since 1989 when I won the title of Miss Ternate Cavite 1988. I'm starting sharing some charities and sponsorship with the teenagers. But as time goes by, because I joined as Saudi Airlines as an OFW for 5 years, I try to help our kababayan in Cavite because everyone say it has to be started in your home. So what I did, because of that, I want to continue. So when the lockdown came, na I was furloughed, so my budget and my financials was a little bit tight. So I talked to my husband, how can I be able to help my kababayan in Ternate during this pandemic? Because a lot of people there no work, lalo na po yung mga magbubukid, magsasaka, tsaka mga mangingisda sa bayan namin. So my husband told me, what do you think? And then this is the funny thing because I'm a TFC fan and we watch. I saw something like an egg na naging sisiw siya. So I was inspired. I said to my husband, you know what, Mahal? Let's start January. Let's give trays of eggs sa Ternate, Cavite. Since we have 10 barangays, I want to start sa Pangwan for the moment and let's see how it works. So what happened po? I encourage my co-candidates of Philippine Eurasia UK. And when I was showing it in the Facebook, of course, I inspire people to give eggs, and I was so happy po. So after that, barangay sa Pangwan, I want to continue my trays of eggs kasi po nakakataba po ng puso kasi while they're giving eggs, they're sending me videos, they're sending me pictures, and then they make cartolina for my name po. And then, I got lost.
To say thank you.
Opo, yung gumawa po sila ng cortina, kasi cartolina, kasi they don't have any money, so they did a cartolina to say thank you po. And my heart's melting po kasi aside from sa Circle of X, when po yung humingi ng tulong sa akin yung kababayan ko for Bangon Batangas for the Taal na nag-era po, nagbigay po kami for relief goods. That time po, my financial is good. So, during my furlough, katulad po na sinabi ko sa inyo, I want to continue my charity pero po ang budget namin mag-asawa hindi po ganun kalaki. Pero tribute na rin po sa my mom who passed away because she's the Lydia, the first queen of Ternate of Cavite. Because my clan is from Ternate, Cavite. So, nagkataon po, I would like to thank Tina Alcantara. She asked me, interview me, na-curious po siya dito sa Circle of Eggs ko. So she want to join to help financially as well to share. I was so delighted and I was so really, I don't know the feeling. Kasi po, for someone who's sharing like this and showing you, offering you, nakakataba po ng puso. So, I said, okay, kumpletuhin na muna natin yung sa Cavite para po matulungan natin. And then, we might go to Aita. Sabi ko, so nag-uusap po kami.
Okay. So, Daisy, you are saying that yung beauty pageant na sinalihan mo at saka ni Julina, it's beauty pageant for a cause. So, meron kayong mga cause na pinapaalam sa mga kababayan natin and causes that you support. Now, my question naman kay Julina, Daisy has mentioned about yung kanyang circle of eggs, di ba? Nakakatuwa. What about you, Miss Julina?
Right. I got 5 advocacies. My first advocacy is the Box Jubilant Tinig ng Kabataan Taguig. The second one is Keeping Kids Off the Street in Milton Keynes in the UK. The third is my Single Parents Empowerment. Number 4 is about the ageism. And number 5 is empowering young adults. I have thought about this because I am thinking about that everything starts from the young age. You know, we have to identify the strengths of an individual for them to be happy in the future. So I started from young adults up to when they grow old and become mature person. It's a bit complex, but the way I look at it now is doing this charity for them to identify and empower themselves. And through this, like the Box Jubilant Tinig ng Kabataan, this is about helping the community of Taguig. And this shows leadership. I can see that from this kind of charity that I'm doing, that more people or more young people will be able to follow the same example, like giving to the community. The second is the Keeping Kids Off the Street is UK based. I am thinking about, I'm not only looking after my own kababayans in our country in the Philippines, but I have to reciprocate that. Meaning, you know, charity is universal. You have to give back to the country that adopted you, isn't it? Yeah. You know, that's why I have joined the Keeping Kids Off the Street. The Keeping Kids Off the Street is helping the community here in the United Kingdom to guide the children out of violence, because at the moment the knife crime here in the United Kingdom is very high. So we're trying to steer them away from that crime and instead offer them like hobbies, something that they can look at, something that is valuable to share their time. Now, the third one that I have is the empowering of young adults. The empowering of young adults is the one that I have done here in the Philippines, because I believe if you are helping that young adults from the very beginning, which is when they are developing this maturity, when they are in a 14-year-old up, that's what is more important for our young adults, to know their to know their skills, their talents, their abilities. It's very important because that will guide them through their maturity in life until they become happy and be valuable to the community. And that is my advocacy. I want that to start from the very young age up to when they reach the old age.
Okay, bago po tayo magpatuloy, batiin muna natin yung mga nanonood ngayon kasi alam naman ninyo, maganda yung panahon in all parts of England. So kahit na pwede silang mag-beach or somewhere else visit places, ay nanonood po sila sa atin. Ang kaibigan ni Daisy na si Marita Nabalan ay may greetings dito. Kanina rin nakita ko ang kaibigan natin na si Dan Revelo watching, waving his hand, nandito rin. My brother from Pampanga is watching, Edmond Eclarinal. Jeremy Roy is watching also. Nelly Fami is watching, Tita Nelly. Ayan, Caviteños, nandyan sumusuporta sa kanilang representative. Meron kayong taga-tagig dito para kay Julina. We'll see, no? And sino pa po yung hindi natin nabati dito ngayon? Go ahead, Jean, ikaw muna.
Okay, hindi, nakita ko lang dito, bati rin si Gigi Venus, at saka si Perla Ignacio Zavala, taga Vancouver pala siya. So wow. Actually, maraming nanonood pala sa atin from outside UK. So ang galing naman.
Oo, outside UK. Yung, alam mo, Gina, alala ko meron tayong suki na nanonood sa Africa palagi, di ba?
Yes, si Tony Deza. Si Tony. Ka-eskwela siya ni late Mayor Cynthia Barker.
Oo. Okay. Okay, great. So, Chad, yung ating pong technical director, kung meron kang live shot ng basketball, ibalik natin siya ha. Just let us know. Pero ang tanong dito, Daisy and Julina, we would like to know, this is from our viewer, no? Ano daw yung most valuable experience or what is your takeaway in joining the contest during the preparations? Kasi I understand yung pre-pageant, ang dami naman ninyong ginawa, no? What would be your best takeaway from that experience?
That we do the
Yes, you first and then Julina. Yeah, let's make it short para masagot pa nyo yung ibang tanong ng mga viewers natin. Go ahead, Daisy.
Well, for me, the best takeaway for this pageant is the sharing of blessing, which is a beauty. This pageant is for beauty for a cause. So for me, it's a sharing and blessing for the charity. It's not about the beauty. It's about how you show your blessings to everyone, and how do you be able to experience the journey, not only going through the pageant, but how do you experience to share the blessings to all the people, especially in this kind of pandemic. Sharing is blessing. That's my takeaway. And no matter what happened, I will continue my legacy. And that is my platform. Thank you.
Thank you. And Julina?
Right. My takeaway from this pageant is I started to know more about myself. There are some aspects of myself that I haven't known first from the previous. Now, when I joined this pageant, that I have learned that I have to be more helpful to people, more patience about my attitude to people, and from that, I've learned a lot of how to relate to other people, how the way I will talk to them. That's my first takeaway. And the next one is charity. I know that charity is very important. I have been doing that charity for a long time, but at this moment of time, my takeaway is my charitable instinct. It kicks in immediately because it's just like it's being ingrained to me by the pageant. Because, pageant is charity. Pageant is about helping and loving people.
Fantastic. So, kailan po yung, Jin, tanungin ko lang, kasi baka yung mga nanonood, kailan ba talaga yung coronation night and kailan yung pageant?
Right.
Grand Coronation Night is July 31, 2021. But July 30, all of us will be having a preliminary interview from different judges, a panel of judges. So the Grand Coronation Night will be July 31, 2021 at Lancaster Grand Theatre. Jolina?
Yes, it will be on July 31st. It will be 1 o'clock in the afternoon UK time, and it will be about 8 o'clock p.m. in Manila time. So it is a 3-day event, 29th, 30th, and 31st. The 30th is our national costume to be displayed in the library where people are able to see that, how the way we showcase our culture, our heritage. It will be on the 30th at the library in Lancaster. And then the 31st, it will be the final night. It will start at 1 o'clock and it will end at around 8 p.m. And after the 8 p.m., we will have a victory party. And you can come and join us and share all the happiness for that night. Thank you.
Fantastic. Jean?
Okay, sige, mabilis lang kasi we're running out of time, no? But congratulations for you joining the contest. But my brief question to both of you is, I've seen beauty contests in the community, from decades ago. Hindi ba mas mahirap ngayon na maging beauty contestants kayo o kung manalo kayo na maging beauty queen kayo? Compared sa noong una at sa ngayon, lalo na may pandemya?
Yes, it is more difficult today because at the moment, because we are in the middle of pandemic, the mobility, the logistics is more difficult because everyone is stuck, everyone is affected with movement, isn't it? But as a pageant candidate, we have to go past it. We have to use the social media if we want to address something to the public, or like charity fundraising, we can use the social media that help us to do our advocacy.
Okay, great.
Nothing will
JC?
stop us.
JC, we don't have your audio. JC, go ahead.
Okay. It's about you're being a needle in a haystack, but we were empowered women, and it's a big challenge to each and every candidate of Mrs. Philippine Eurasia 2021. But it doesn't stop us. We are empowered. We think positive, and we show to everyone that the candidates of Mrs. Philippine Eurasia is an A team, one for all and all for one. We are the best team in the pageant, and we will show everyone that because of this pandemic, we will show you that this pageant is way back different to all the pageants you can see in UK, because we are empowered women. We have different capabilities, different beauties, but we are working as one team. That's what I can say. So if you will see us on July 31, 2021, we will show you we are the queens with A1 team. It's not for a competitor, but we are a team to show our sportsmanship, to give a good show to everyone. So, ladies and gentlemen, please watch us July 31, 2021, and we will show you the best beauty of the universe. Thank you.
Wow.
Maraming salamat, Miss Stacy Esguera from Cavite, Mrs. Cavite, and of course, Mrs. Julina Loftus from Taguig, Mrs. Taguig. Good luck po sa inyong lahat, sa inyong dalawa. Kayong dalawa, of course, ay winners already because of what you've been doing to help our kababayans, not just in the UK, but also in the Philippines. Good luck. Salamat po. Mabuhay kayo.
Thank you.
Salamat.
Salamat. Bye. Jean, pagkakataong ito, ipakita naman natin full screen yung live basketball event na nangyayari po sa Suffolk. Ayan. Yan po. Ito ang Phil Sports Fest sa Suffolk. Ang mga kababayan nating nurses at ang kanilang mga pamilya ang kabahagi po ng kauna-unahang sporting event ng mga Filipino nurses and their families in that part of England.
I think, Rose, I think this is the first across the country. Hindi lang sa part nila. Kasi I've never heard of another group
sporting event
doing this. So talagang kudos to the SNF teams.
Yes. O kung gusto po ninyong i-challenge si Jean, ipadala nyo ang photos ng mga sports event na nangyayari ngayong weekend because ito ang alam natin na sports event na nagaganap ngayon. Kung meron pang iba, that's good. Pero malaking grupo, no? 500 nurses in Suffolk and their families. At nagsimula ito, Jean, kahapon pa. Unfortunately, hindi ganun kagandahan yung audio ng mga representatives na na-interview natin. But the ones that sat with us and talked with us are senior level nurses of in Suffolk, no? At si Louis Horn ay nanalo pa siya, Jean, ng scholarship. Did you know?
Oh, really? Fantastic.
Yes. She
Lumalabas
is
talaga
one of those na nabigyan ng scholarship ng Florence Nightingale Foundation. So ginawan ko kasi ng storya sa ABS-CBN sa The Filipino Channel of the Filipino nurses na members of the FNA UK. So congratulations sa kanila and for organizing this. So ayan po, enjoy this video. Meron din po yan kung saan nyo sila mapapanood. Go to the webpage sa Facebook ng mga Filipino nurses, FNA UK, at saka yung Flinag kanina ni Miss Louis Horn. Ayan.
Fantastic.
Okay, so Jean, first weekend of lockdown, I think we were asking, may naiwan pa ba na restriction doon sa video video report ko. Ang naiiwan na lang, to my knowledge, is yung slowly the return to work of those, yung mga nagtatrabaho sa bahay, ay gradually yung return to work program na ini-encourage ng government na magtrabaho na o bumalik na sa kanilang opisina. No?
Plus, of course, the restriction on international travel.
Of course.
So, lagi po mag-ingat at magdala ng pera pag umuwi kayo lalo na ng Pilipinas. Dahil pag bumalik po kayo, ayan, meron kayong quarantine sa hotel. Hindi lang po sa inyong bahay. So, and apart from that, yung patuloy yung paghuhugas ng kamay, pagsusot ng mask sa mga public places, at kung makipag-meet, kung kaya sa labas, yun dapat ang gawin ninyo.
Great. Diba? Ayan. Yan po ang ating makabuluhang discussion ngayong hapon. Kung may mga pahabol akong babatiin before we close dahil marami pa po tayong kailangang gawin. Neil Tero from Russia. Neil, thank you for watching. Please, alam ko ito yung masugid natin na sumusubaybay sa YouTube. Neil, salamat Neil for sharing always our live streaming. Ay naku, nandito yung mommy ko. My mom is watching at sabi niya, well said, Daisy. O, ayan Daisy, nakita mo, pinapakinggan ng mommy ko yung every bit of what you said. And who else? Sana po wala tayong nakalimutang batiin. Ang kaibigan natin na si Dan Revelo. Dan, na-miss namin yung mga iniiwan mo na matalinhagang salita in English.
At si Jeremy Roy ng Germination.
Keep well and keep safe, all of you, from Dan Revelo. Thank you, Dan. So, yes, our first weekend after the lifting of lockdown. Maraming salamat po for joining us. Jean, go ahead. Your last greetings before we close.
Sabihin ko lang ito si Jeremy Roy ng Germination na pinicture ang isa nating kasama, co-host, na si Attorney Crystal Diaz. So thank you for doing that. Anyway, yun lang po. Basically, sana po nag-enjoy kayo sa araw na ito na punong-puno yung ating program. Iba't iba, isang nakamamanghang doctor na na-involved sa pag-develop ng AstraZeneca vaccine. Then meron tayong basketball na inorganize ng ating mga nakamamanghang mga nurses. Kahit na busy sila, may panahon pa rin sila sa community work. And then, of course, ang dalawa nating beauty queens locally. Plus, of course, ang ating own beauty queen na nag-presenta ngayon from South End on Sea, si Kiara Gregorio.
Yes, at makakasama po natin si Kiara sa ating mga susunod na live streaming. Siya po ang magbibigay sa atin ng on-the-ground report ng latest developments at saka yung mga paborito nating pasyalan dahil siya ang mag-iikot ngayon na tapos na po yung lockdown sa England. So, maraming salamat po for joining us this afternoon. Dito po nagtatapos ang UNLOCKDOWN, Kwentong Pinoy, Kwentong Migrante, Kwentong UNLOCKDOWN. Ako po si Rose Eclarinal.
At Jean Alcantara po.
Hanggang sa muli sa UNLOCKDOWN.
Saan ka man dalhin ang kapalaran, iisang bayan lang sa puso mo'y laman, pinagmulan at babalikan. Konting tiis na lang at hanggang sa araw na yan ay